Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Inspiring Teacher Award event. This is my favorite time of year, the favorite event that we do, because we get to hear about all the wonderful things that teachers are continuing to do to inspire our future generation of innovators and explorers. Before we begin tonight, I would like to start out by thanking our sponsors for the evening, Emerson, Blueprint 4, and the Clark Fox Family Foundation, and Missouri S&T. Thank you so much for your support. We also have a couple of slides that were given to us in support from some of the districts. We start with Hazelwood Central High School is giving their congratulations to, oops, I can't see this without my glasses. I'm going to bring this up so I can see this somewhere. To Tiffany Fowlkes-Comninellis, and I'm going to say that wrong. You are an exceptional, inspiring educator to all you teach. Congratulations. And we also have a tribute slide from Jennings Senior High School. And we have 3 teachers that were nominated and were selected, and we have Martha Warren, we have Cherron White, and Christopher Sellers. Congratulations to the 3 of you. And lastly, we also have Nokomis Community Unit School District number 22 is giving their congratulations to Dan Easterday, and congratulations. They're thankful for your inspiration and guidance throughout his years of teaching at Nokomis High School. And Dan is actually a retired teacher. And I remember now that I can do the view. So now I can read it, the speaker view. Technology is great. It's amazing. We've been doing this Zoom thing now for a couple of years, and I'm still stumbling. But here we are all tonight to celebrate the most important things, which are the teachers that brought us here this evening. But actually, we wouldn't be here this evening without the support of also all of our nominators: Javahn, Kayla, Philip, Kassy, Kanaya, Jamila, and Wesley. Thank you so much for taking the time to nominate your teachers. And all you recorded videos, you put up with me badgering you for the last couple of months. And so I really appreciate the time and the attention that you gave to this very important event. But we know that we're here tonight to celebrate 7 very special educators who have been recognized for their work for inspiring a future generation of innovators. Tonight also is in honor and recognition of the space station and the space crews that have lost their lives over the years. It is 55 years ago today that the Apollo 1 mission was lost on the launch pad, and the Challenger crew in January of 1986. And obviously that's our namesake for which we are continuing on their mission of education. And we also lost the Columbia crew back in 2003. Today is also considered NASA's Day of Remembrance, where we recognize and eulogize the astronauts that we have lost. And we're going to have pause for just a moment, and we're going to watch a video to recognize those heroes.
Apollo 1 was, with all doubt, a terrible tragedy. We remember the loss of those lives. We don't stop our quest, we don't stop our mission, but we continue to move forward in that mission of scientific discovery.
We come together today to mourn the loss of 7 brave Americans, to share the grief that we all feel, and perhaps in that sharing to find the strength to bear our sorrow and the courage to look for the seeds of hope. Sometimes when we reach for the stars, we fall short, but we must pick ourselves up again and press on. We bid you goodbye. We will never forget you.
Here we have teacher train coming down the tunnel, and luckily we're having a whole lot of fun up here.
This day has brought terrible news and great sadness to our country. At 9 o'clock this morning, Mission Control in Houston lost contact with our Space Shuttle Columbia. Mankind is led into the darkness beyond our world by the inspiration of discovery and the longing to understand. Our journey into space will go on. In the skies today, we saw destruction and tragedy. Yet farther than we can see, there's comfort and hope.
And so we know that we are here on this solemn day, as well as this day that it's sort of a dichotomy of recognizing the sacrifices that these folks have made to enable us to be able to continue on and explore and reach further and further. And for the Challenger Space Shuttle crew, Kristen McAuliffe, who was the teacher on board, her mission was to go into outer space and to continue to inspire kids all over the country to be excited about science and engineering. And that mission lives on not only through our center, but through a network of over 40 centers worldwide, where we do space mission simulations and other STEM education programs. We're so fortunate that our center is set up through a partnership of 3 amazing institutions: the Ferguson-Florissant School District, the St. Louis Science Center, and Education Plus. And through this partnership, we're able to extend our reach to get the support of the community at large and be able to serve more students and more groups throughout the St. Louis area. Our center, which is in Ferguson, is housed in a building and is part of the Ferguson-Florissant School District. And it is such an honor to be part of that district. And underneath the leadership of Dr. Joseph Davis, who does such a great job of inspiring everyone in the district and has been holding all of us together through these definitely challenging times. And we're honored that tonight he is joining us to introduce our keynote speaker, James Young, who is also a teacher in the Ferguson-Florissant School District. But I will say no more. I'm going to hand this off now to Dr. Davis to introduce our keynote speaker and say a hello.
Awesome. Thank you, Tasman, and thank you to everybody who has supported the Challenger Center and all the work that teachers do across this country. I can tell you that I am where I am because of a teacher. I was a math teacher by training and absolutely love mathematics and the sciences. And I'm always inspired by people who touch the lives of people like me, first generation, and all others. Teachers make all the difference in the world. You shape the future. And so thank you to my teachers and to all the teachers that are here being honored this evening, and to all the future teachers that we're trying to prepare for the next generations to come. But it's my honor to introduce our keynote speaker this evening, Mr. James Young. Mr. Young is a music teacher at the Johnson Wabash 6th Grade Center in Ferguson, Missouri. Mr. Young served in the United States Army. Thank you for your service, Mr. Young, before returning to school to become a teacher. His military service included membership in the U.S. Army Corps during his tour in South Korea. Mr. Young has 14 years of teaching experience, with the majority of time spent in the Ferguson-Florissant School District, where he has taught middle school band, guitar, music appreciation, general music, and a co-taught musical theater class. Mr. Young resides in Ferguson with his wife and 7 amazing children, and is a graduate of the Ferguson-Florissant School District. Collaborative partnerships have been an integral part and the highlight of his time in the classroom. Mr. Young has worked with organizations including the St. Louis Dancing Classrooms, St. Louis Classical Guitar, Strings Attached, and Life Arts Incorporated to help bring high quality arts education to his students and the school community. Mr. Young believes in the importance of being a role model who is able to influence students beyond the walls of the classroom. He is a group lessons teacher and board member for local nonprofit organization Suzuki Harmony STL, and has also been active as a youth leader in his local church. Mr. Young enjoys playing guitar, reading, and taking long trips with his family. He holds his bachelor's degree of music education from the University of Missouri at St. Louis. Please join me in welcoming our current 2022 State of Missouri Teacher of the Year, our very own Mr. James Young.
Thank you so much, Tasman. Thank you, Dr. Davis. It is an extreme and immense honor to be here tonight. I'm going to give you a quote. It says, "I wasn't born just to teach. I was born to inspire others, to change people, to never give up, even when faced with challenges that seem impossible." And that's a teacher quote by Raj Kumar. We are in some interesting times, as Tasman said earlier. And so in these times, we look for inspiration and we look for hope. And teachers, you are definitely power holders when it comes to those concepts of hope and inspiration. I have the privilege, as was mentioned earlier, to inspire young minds at the Johnson Wabash 6th grade center in Ferguson, Florissant School District. But I also have had the privilege to have some interaction with the Challenger Center. So I'm so grateful for the work they do in the Ferguson community. As a matter of fact, one of my daughters was able to do a summer program with drones where they actually sent, on one of our long road trips over the summer, they sent the drone and everything, the materials that she needed directly to us. And she was able to participate in a STEM activity even from a distance. So Challenger Center, thank you so much for what you do. Sponsors, thank you so much for supporting this community work. And that is critical. And that is going to be the thing that I think truly pulls us out of these difficult times, is this sense of community, this sense of urgency to want to help each other. So what does it mean to inspire? So I did what every diligent scholar would do when they wanted a definition, and I asked Google. And when I asked Google, or I looked up on Google, I found two definitions, and they're different, but they're both very applicable to what we're here for tonight. The first one is, to inspire means to fill someone with the urge or the ability to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. Other words for inspire can be stimulate, motivate, cause, incline, energize, or to be uplifting. The second definition, and this was really interesting, was to breathe in, to inhale. How many times a day does it do your spirit well just to breathe in? Teachers, that's what you do. Inspiring teachers, you help us to remember to breathe. Tonight, we are acknowledging teachers who help students to dream. You help students to see past make-believe into what is possible. You help give students a spark to ask questions that will take them to a new level of understanding. You take them to borders of discovery that they, or maybe even you, could never imagine. You are life changers. You are invaluable. You help us to breathe. All of this work, as I mentioned in the definition above, requires the ability to create. STEM, and if I could throw the A in there and say STEAM, at its highest level, helps students to see what is beautiful in life while providing them with the means to creatively problem solve. Recently, I read an article that talked about the same part of the brain that is responsible for helping us to react to beautiful paintings or masterful music is the same part of the brain that a mathematician would respond to a beautiful equation. And so there is so much creativity happening when we're exposing students to science, technology, engineering, math, and arts. Teachers, you make things connect. You make things make sense. So much so that your students, and many of them are on here today, have decided to pursue those ideas long after they leave your classroom. That's an inspiring teacher. Teachers were so important for me as well. Growing up, we traveled a lot. My dad was a musician, but we didn't have a lot. My parents did their best, but I needed also so much my teachers. Now, sometimes it is the inspiration that we give by our content that we teach, but sometimes an inspiring teacher inspires students to just be their best selves on the inside when it comes to things like just being a whole person. I remember when we finally settled, this is way back in the late 80s, early 90s, we settled in Kinloch, Missouri, not too far from Ferguson, in the Ferguson-Florissant School District now. It's in that area. I had a lot of trouble in school. I had some trouble with being teased. We moved in and out a lot. Like I said, I was new and didn't always have the best clothes, didn't always have the best shoes, and definitely not the best haircut. I had a teacher named Mrs. Wright, my sixth grade teacher, who helped me see past all that stuff that I didn't have or I didn't think I could do, and helped me to feel good about being a learner. She was a light for me. I remember when I got to high school, I had a high school counselor named Dr. Carl Swearingham. He insisted that I go for the college preparatory certificate because by that time, school wasn't really my highest priority. But he insisted, and he wouldn't let me off the hook. He inspired me to be greater than the potential I saw in myself. He was a light for me. I remember when I got to college, and actually my first African-American male teacher was Dr. Bill Richardson. I had dreams of just becoming a better musician, but he helped me to become a better person and a teacher. He helped me to feel confident and get over the doubts that I had that maybe I wasn't good enough to be a teacher or smart enough. He was a light for me. And then I would be remiss if I didn't mention my grandmother, retired music teacher from the Ferguson-Florissant School District, who always inspired me to keep going even when things didn't seem like they made sense or I wasn't being successful. She inspired me to keep going back day after day, keep trying the problem, and that each day and each year would get better. She had a relentless work ethic, and she was a light for me. So I have a couple of things that as I was thinking about this, what do inspiring teachers help us to do? Well, they help us to see our potential. They help lift us out of our mindsets that would keep us stuck in the same place. Inspiring teachers help us to grow through difficult times. Inspiring teachers help us to see what we or others might not see in ourselves. Inspiring teachers help us to take the place in the callings of life that we're destined for. So my question tonight is, what do we do when our inspiration takes us to greater places in life than we could ever imagine? I'll tell you right now, there's no way I would ever imagine that I would be Missouri State Teacher of the Year for 2022. It is an honor, it's a privilege, and it's still kind of unbelievable, but I don't take the credit. First of all, I just thank God for the grace in my life that he's given me. I thank God for my parents and my teachers and my community and organizations like the Challenger Center who help students to see their potential. And so for that reason, I'm always looking to encourage and partner with others who want to do the same for young people. I have a message to our high school students who are in the audience. Would you consider being a teacher? Teaching is an amazing and difficult but rewarding job. Finally, I would like to encourage each of us to be a light. There's so much going on in our world today, so many reasons to be discouraged. So be a light. Be a light when it seems that hope is hard to come by. Be a light when it seems too dark to see what's ahead. Be a light when obstacles seem too great. Be a light when the problem seems impossible. Be a light because someone is watching you. Thank you so much, teachers. Thank you to the Challenging Center and everyone here tonight, everyone watching. And I hope and pray that you have an amazing rest of your year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, James. And, I always say that the most inspiring people and the most successful people are also the most humble. And I think you can hear those words. You could hear those words in James's talk tonight. So, and some of the words that you heard from him, you're going to also hear from the nominators. And it really rings true that these teachers have not only their excitement has been contagious, and that you can see that that has spread to their students, but they have found a way to shine a light inside and light that fire inside students to build and encourage their confidence and their sense of self. So thank you so much for those words, James. Thank you for your service for in the past and what you continue to do for the community at large. So with that, now we're going to turn to our actual awards part of the program. And what we're going to do is have each teacher, we're going to have a chance to see some of the words that the person that inspired them said about them, and then we'll be able to bring them up for a couple of comments. So I'm going to start first with Martha Warren. I know she goes by Marty Warren from Jennings Senior High, who was nominated by Javahn Watkins. So if we can pull up the video and we can pull up Marty, and we'll be able to get started with the first video.
Hello, my name is Javahn Watkins, and I'm a sophomore at Jennings Senior High School. The person that I nominated was Miss Warren, and I chose her because when I first walked into her class, I've always been interested in STEM and things related to science, but when it came to things such as going deeper into the human body and going like into depth about things like in that area, I wasn't really more so interested. But Miss Warren showed me through multiple, I wouldn't say assignments, because like we do assignments, it's like a lot, but what she mainly focuses on is teaching us like more in depth, not only about the human body, but about what everything does. And on top of that, what she does in her own field of science as well, because she does herpetology, and you know that relates to things like reptiles. And I feel that really inspired me to go into that type of field in science. Like I was thinking about becoming a doctor after that. She told me more about what we could do with the knowledge that she's given us. And the more information that we got, the more we felt prepared to go into different fields of science in general. And the other students as well will also say the same thing. Miss Warren is a great teacher. She does all that she can to inspire and teach the most that she can. And if there's anything else that she would do in any type of field, I feel that she also inform us and lead us on the way. I just feel like she's just a really good teacher in general. And if there's any other teacher I would have, it probably wouldn't. I'm just saying I wouldn't have any other teacher except Miss Warren. So thank you very much. I would like to say thank you, Miss Warren, for teaching me all that you taught me. And I'd love to see you in class. Thank you.
That's wonderful. So if we can get Javahn's video on, and we have Miss Warren's video up.
I'm really amazed. Thank you, Javahn. It's amazing. Usually I'm never at a loss for words. I'm usually talking all the time, but this is just so humbling. And I thank you for allowing me to be part of your life and to be your teacher and to share my knowledge with you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And do we have Javahn? Do we have, I know I saw him before. There he is.
Hello.
Is there anything you want to say? Anything else?
Oh, I have nothing to say. It was all said in the video. I just
It was all said wonderfully.
Thank you.
And I would like to present, also you get to see these virtually and then they will be sent to you. This is your Inspiring Teacher Award to Miss Warren. So congratulations.
Congrats.
Terrific. Thank you. All right. So now let's move on to our second award recipient, to Tanginica Foster. And Tanginica is from Collinsville Middle School, and she was nominated by Kayla Stevenson, who is a student at Kaplan University, and she's studying forensic science.
My name is Kayla Stevenson. I am a student at Southwestern Illinois College in Belleville, Illinois. I am currently going to school for respiratory therapy. I nominated Tangi Foster, a math teacher at Collinsville Middle School in Collinsville, Illinois. She was my 7th grade teacher. I was in 7th grade about 15 years ago. She was an outstanding mentor, a very shy yet very rough upbringing, and I didn't feel that I was going to go very far, and she was wanting to lead me to believe that I can go anywhere that I put my mind to. And she has actually stuck with me for the last 15, 20 years. I talk to her on a regular basis still to this day. Tangi is very outgoing and encouraging, not just to myself, but many other students. She has given me ample opportunities. She's helped me with my studies, even with my first degree, which is criminal justice in my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. She's a very outspoken, outgoing person, and she doesn't believe that giving up is an option. She has given me amazing hope, in not only academically, but as a parent. I think due to her and the mentorship over the years, not just in school, I have became an outstanding person, and she still mentors me today. Tangi is still an amazing teacher. She takes out multiple hours of her day outside of teaching to still teach more. As you know, we're going through COVID and everything else, so she teaches when she's off. I can't even express enough of how inspirational she's been over the years. She was there when I adopted my children. She has been there for me to encourage me and be my backbone even through the loss of my baby brother in September. I can't, there's no way to thank her enough for everything that she has done. I thank her for, all I can do is give thanks, but there will never be a way to repay her.
Thank you so much, Kayla, for those moving words. Can we get Tangi's video up?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Those were such nice words. I'm like, is that me? I love Kayla. Kayla was one of my students at the very beginning of my teaching career. And one of the things I found early on in life is that you make connections with kids through not only math. I love the challenge of getting kids who don't like math. She wasn't one of those, but that to actually like math. But I just found that making a relationship with kids is just as important as being a good teacher. So those words she gave are wonderful. I didn't know what they were going to be, but I, like all teachers right now, are in need of accolades and just for doing what we do every day. We do it every day, no matter what. But when you run across special kids, we hope that you put your stamp on everybody's life, like I've done apparently with Kayla. And that's my goal, not just for you to leave knowing all your math, but to have inspiration by someone else. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Kayla, did you want to pop in here for any more moment?
There's not really too much more I can say. I think that you know, teaching in general, it's a hard task, it's a hard force. And you know, the one thing about it is, you know, being inspiring is great even when it comes to education, but being inspiring outside of academics, I think is also very huge within my situation, because again, Ms. Foster, somebody that I talk to on a regular basis, and you know, and sometimes you just need that special person to tell you how it is and be like, no, you need to do it. You just need to get up, let's go. You got this. And, you know, that's great, especially with deciding to go back to college and pursue respiratory therapy. And I love her to death, and I wouldn't trade her for the world. And she was in the right place at the right time in 7th grade. So, and hopefully we got many more years to cherish.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I'd like to present here Ms. Foster with your award, your Inspiring Teacher Award, which we'll get off to you soon. So congratulations. Thank you so much. All right, next up, we have Dan Easterday, a retired teacher from Nokomis High School, and he was nominated by, whoops, do I have, oh, that was Kayla, okay. Yes, Dan was nominated by Philip Chrostoski, who is a postdoctoral appointee at Sandia National Lab. So let's go ahead and hear from Philip.
Hello, I'm Dr. Philip Chrostoski, and I nominated Dan Easterday from Nokomis High School. So where this all begins is I'm a freshman in high school. I have no idea what I want to do with my life, and neither does any of my friends. But we're also a school of 200 total students. And for most teachers, it's very difficult to get us to stop talking. One thing I learned very early on is that the person you wanted to listen to was Dan Easterday. He was very energetic and very enjoyed teaching very much in his courses. And when I was finishing my doctoral studies this past semester, I had to go back and think of where it all started, because I have a degree in video game design that I've done nothing with. And I remembered a lecture he had, to this day I remember it, in his physical science course, about if you're in a car and you want to take a hard turn and somebody next to you doesn't have their seatbelt on, they'll slide right up next to you. Now, I have a PhD, so I understand this very well, but how simple he made that seem was something that I never forgot. And it's been 14 years later, and I still remember that lecture. I remember us sitting in the second row. And as I go on to become a researcher and maybe eventually end up teaching at a university, I always want to be that energetic and bring that enjoyment to my students, and I hope to be as half energetic as I am about the field I love as much as he was. So thank you, Dan, for everything, and congratulations.
Wonderful, congratulations. Can we get, Dan, can you get, see if you can get your camera turned back on? We'd love to see you, if you can do that. There he is.
Oh, wow. I didn't think I could do it, but I got it.
You got it.
First of all, I would like to thank the center for the nomination, the award, and thank Phil for the award. As I look back when Phil came to Nokomis with his parents and his mother became our superintendent, his interest in science, believe it or not, was not real high. And you wouldn't know that now because of what he's accomplished in the area of physics. But I always felt like in teaching that I always felt like I taught kids, not subjects. And even though my subject was science, I always felt like take the kid where they're at, take the student where they're at, find out what their interests are, and then apply science to that. And I in my teaching, I always tried to apply the sciences to their everyday life. And obviously he remembers that demonstration in physics, or in that case, it was physical science, when we talked about momentum and so forth. And I'm happy to know that that did make did make an impression on him, and we've stayed in contact. He's gone way beyond my background in science. He sent me some of his research papers and so forth, and he's done very, very well. And his whole family is involved in education, and they are dear to our hearts here in Nokomis and have been. And Phil, I enjoyed in class, and he took off. His interest in science, as I said, at the beginning wasn't there, but it didn't take much to get him motivated and get him to apply science to his life. And he has made that a life career. So my congratulations to him as well.
Thank you so much, Dan. And Philip, I understand has made his big move, and he's now on the West Coast and about to start a new chapter of his life. So Philip, is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
Not at the West Coast yet. That all begins next week.
Next week. Okay.
Yeah, we found a place to live. But just, thank you for your kind words, Mr. Easterday. And all I'll do is paraphrase Isaac Newton, and I can only see farther because of I'm standing on the shoulders of giants.
Oh,
thank you very much. I appreciate that comment. And as I listen to the different teachers and the different nominators, and that's what's great about teaching. Teaching for me was a way of life. It wasn't a job. And I hope and pray that teachers today consider that not a job. It's not an 8 to 3 job. It is a way of life, and particularly in science. To me, science applies to all of our life in very numerous ways throughout everything we do, from the way we drive, walk, talk, and all the interactions that we have. And I hope and pray that the scientific theory and the method of the scientific theory, which Philip has developed, very, very well in research. People evaluate things in our world today in terms of the scientific theory.
That's great. And you can see that passion still continues all throughout your life. So thank you so much. And we'd like to present you with your award, your Inspiring Teacher Award, to Mr. Easterday. And we'll get this off to you after the event. So congratulations.
Hey, thank you for allowing me to be part of this.
We're so glad. And now I know where Nokomis, Illinois is. I never heard of that before.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
That's great. It's good. So thank you. All right. So next we would like to recognize Paul Wallis, who is a science teacher at DeSoto Senior High, and he was nominated by Kassy, Rowden. And so we'll go ahead and pull the video up from Kassy.
Hi, I'm Kassy Rowden. I nominated Paul Wallis, or Mr. Wallis, from DeSoto Senior High. I decided to nominate Mr. Wallis because I was really nervous going into my freshman year, since I'm only a freshman and I went from a smaller school to this high school. And so I came in and I started doing my schedule, and his classroom is the only classroom I felt comfortable in. I told him about a few of my life experiences and what I've been doing in my life, and he made me feel really comfortable. I felt like I could talk to him about anything. He inspired me to want to go into mechanical engineering more than I already did. He actually got me onto the robotics team. I had joined the competition that was only a few weeks away, and we did really good. And I was so happy to actually go through and do that for the rest of my life. Like, that is something I want to do for the rest of my life. So I am so comfortable in his class that I can ask him for anything or tell him anything, and I know he'll be there for me. And I know I haven't always like been the best in school, or I haven't always had the best attendance, but Mr. Wallis is always really understanding. And I'm just really appreciative of Mr. Wallis. Like, I really want to go into mechanical engineering and work on robots or vehicles, or even get a college degree for it because Mr. Wallis. So that is why I nominated Mr. Wallis. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kassy and Paul. I know Kassy couldn't join us this evening, but would you like to say a couple of words? Mr. Wallis, you want to say anything? I'll give him a second. I think he's got some technical difficulties. This is the theme of the evening, the second theme.
Is that better?
There you go.
Can you hear me now? There it is. All right. So I appreciate the center for the award and for Kassy for the nomination. Like she said, I teach physics, physical science all day, and then robotics after school. Kassy was in my class, still is in my class this year. She just got to the high school this year, and showed an aptitude and an interest in her life skills and just conversations we've had in class as a whole class discussion, that she was interested in mechanics and mechanical engineering. So I just gave her the suggestion, you know, I do run the robotics program after school, and, you know, you might stop by one day to see what it's about. And she stopped by one day and she's like, oh, I've got to do this. And that's kind of the way my program is. The kids come once and they don't want to leave. It's just an opportunity that I never had in school to inspire kids. And had that program been around when I was in school, yeah, I probably would have done something completely different. But this is my opportunity to inspire the next generation, as so many have said, to go on into STEM from here. So thank you.
That's wonderful. And you can hear that even, you know, again, the passion that comes out in even your comments and remarks here, but then also the students feeling so comfortable being in your classroom and knowing that they can come to you for school and non-school related conversations, and how meaningful that is. So I'd like to present you, Mr. Wallis, with one of our 2022 Inspiring Teacher Awards. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, next up, we have Cherron White, who is a teacher at Jennings Senior High. And Cherron was nominated by Kanaya Cooper. So let's go ahead and pull up Kanaya's video.
Hey, my name's Kanaya. I am in the 9th grade. I'm 14. I go to Jennings Senior High School, and I nominated Miss White, my science teacher, for the teacher award because she's inspired me. I thought that science was just too much. Like, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of science at all. And then I go to science, and it's like, I don't know. I'm still having a little trouble in science, but like, she make it fun for me. And it's like, it's not as hard as I thought it would be, because she's the type of teacher that will make it like much more easier, like in an easier way, because it's pretty, because science has a lot of math in there, and I'm not a fan of math. I'm not a fan of math. And she made it much easier for me. She has also introduced me to South Tech, which is like basically a preparation school for like for whatever you want to do for your main career when you get older, in which I want to do dentistry. I want to be a dentist, and she introduced me to that. And then Miss White, so I told her that I like dentistry, and surprisingly, she likes it too. Yeah, she introduced me to South Tech, and then that actually made me want to do it even more, because now I have a way to like learn more about dentistry. even before I get to college. And I want to thank Miss White for smiling, which made me smile. I want to thank Miss White for teaching me more about math. So hard. Thank you for teaching me more about math. Thank you for teaching me more about science. Thank you for making me, well, not making me, but just introducing science a little bit more to me and making it very enjoyable. So thank you.
Thank you, Kanaya. And Ms. White, will you you have any comments or things you'd like to add?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
When I first met my students, I always make them create a SMART goal. And in her SMART goal, she said she didn't like science, but she was interested in dentistry. So I knew that I had to get with her, sit with her, inspire her, motivate her, whatever I needed to do. So I made that connection. But I noticed when students come to you as a freshman, they're always nervous. They have this certain energy that is, oh God, it's so hard, it's so hard. So with them, I have to really just take it as low as I can and build them up. And each day we're in our physical science portion. They take a quiz every day. So now that their quizzes are improving, they're just becoming more into themselves. But what I will say, the Jennings High School teachers, we understand the assignment. We know that we have to inspire. We cannot allow COVID and no buses and it's too cold to interfere with what we have to do. So we do work together. As soon as I hear one student say they are interested in science, I take them to my left to Mr. Sellers, or I take them to my right to Mrs. Warren to make sure that all three of us are wrapping our arms around these students to make sure that whatever it is they need, we do what we have to do. So we do understand the assignment. And I want to say that it is such an honor and a privilege to be nominated. Ms. Cooper, I will see you tomorrow. We will be reviewing our quiz. So we're ready for our test on Monday. Yes, ma'am. You have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. White. Kanaya, do you want to turn your camera on? So is there anything else you wanted to say to Ms. White or to everyone?
I just want to say I was cringing so much watching myself. But but I just want to say thank you to Ms. White. I feel so blessed to have a teacher like her because, as I said, there were so many times I did not want to go to school. But then I just thought about what if I just go to school and see Ms. White? Just what if I go there? And then I would go there and I would be so tired and then I would have bad energy. And then she would just I don't want that bad energy in my room. And then I would come to her classroom, she'll be smiling. Sometimes she'd be behind the desk because it's COVID, but she'd stay behind the desk and just take off her mask and be smiling. And I'll be like, okay. She this type of teacher. And then that's when I'll get so excited and then I'll feel better. So yeah, I just feel like I'm so blessed to have a teacher like her. And it just makes me feel like God is working and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you, Ms. White.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Kanaya. And this is for Ms. White. Congratulations on one of our 2022 Inspiring Teacher Awards. And I'll be able to deliver all three of these in one place. So thank you. Congratulations. All right, next up, we have the third, and I was going to call them dynamic duo, but there's three of them, and I couldn't remember exactly what that would be. So the Three Musketeers, maybe? All right, so next we have Christopher Sellers from Jennings Senior High, and he was nominated by Jamila Latimore, who is at Missouri S&T studying computer engineering. So let's listen to her video.
Hello, my name is Jamila Latimore. I'm a freshman here at Missouri University of Science and Technology, majoring in computer engineering, computer science in Rowden, Missouri. And I nominated Mr. Christopher Sellers. The decision of my future started in 8th grade when I was told to take a career test by my counselor. They determined that I was most likely to go down the engineering path, which kind of structures some of my engineering capabilities. She invited me and a couple of other students to join a NSBE conference, which is National Society of Black Engineers conference that they had coming up around that weekend. I attended because this is something I felt I was interested in, and I got to see so much, such as the different opportunities that they had in the engineering field, some of the different companies and what they offered to the different engineers. And I got to see a lot of robots that some of the students built themselves and so much more. It was very interesting. Then came my freshman year of high school when my Algebra 1 teacher was out, and I was told that Mr. Christopher Sellers would be my substitute. He saw how well I was doing in class, my work, and so much more, so he extended an opportunity for me to come and check out the STEM team. I accepted, and I actually liked how it was ran and how I felt. I just felt that the STEM team could definitely benefit my future as far as the path I want to go to. From there, I participated in the First Tech Challenge Robotics, which is a robotics competition in which we build robots to compete in some field games and stuff. I participated in Cyber Patriot computer programming competition in which we use cybersecurity knowledge to solve different challenges. I participated in so much more. I really enjoyed the different knowledge that he has given me, and besides that, he also gave me like leadership knowledge as far as, you know, being a good leader and taking upon that role, and how big it is to have that type of opportunity in your life. And actually, I am blessed to have the opportunity to be a leader to my younger siblings and the younger ones who are after me that are at Jennings now. Mr. Sellers to me was also a very good motivator as far as pushing me to make sure I make the right decisions for my future and making the right choices as far as classwork, schoolwork, and even if I needed help, homework or something, he was always there to help. I can always reach out to him and communicate with him if there was something wrong. He was always a listening ear, but most of all, he was always there. In my experience, the knowledge given from the experiences of being on the STEM team has helped me in different ways, as such as using the different programs that I was a part. They kind of built my problem solving skills, and I really, really am grateful to have the opportunity to be a part of these things as a student at Jennings Senior High School. I really enjoyed it, and I am very proud to say thank you to Mr. Sellers for the opportunity of being a part of the STEM team and helping me with different opportunities to help me to become successful in my future.
Thank you, Jamila. And Chris, wanna have any words, comments? Oh, I can't hear you. Nope. There you go.
Does that work?
That works.
All right. First of all, Challenger Learning Center, you guys are awesome. We did have the opportunity to come out before COVID, and that's one of those moments. I'm a true believer that a day of school outside of school is a good opportunity, and I think that Jamila benefited from a lot of those opportunities, and being at the Challenger Learning Center was definitely one of them. The second thing is, you know, it's funny that this whole thing is like the inspiring teacher thing. It's not. This is a complete reversal, because what Jamila and Kanaya and Javahn, and those are the kids I know at Jennings, they are the ones inspiring us. And I think when you have those students that come into class and they want more, that's the inspiring. It's not. It's the other way. So one, I want to say that I really appreciate the fact that you're listening to students talk, because that's a really important piece of this, is that they are the driving force. The third thing, family. I've got my family here at my home, and my wife drives and my kids drive, and they're driving forces. And then you go to school and it's a whole nother family. You've got your kids and you've got your teachers that are in your hallway, and our hallway is rocking right now. Lower S, I was like, something is in the water. It's me, Miss Warren, and Miss White. And Miss White is so spot on. When we see kids that have that talent, it's just, hey, what can we do? What can we do? And that leads into this being part of our STEM team, which is a huge, you know, when I look at Jasmine to Dominique to Marissa to Jamila and Dinesha, those are the kids that have gone through 6-7 years. And it's this huge process that we've really worked on building this vertical nature so that they can support kids We have really super support from our mentors, Dr. Caesar and Dr. Richter, who really wrap themselves around these kids so that it's not just I teach them from September to May. It is we teach them from like as soon as we meet them in 9th grade until whenever we're done with them. And we just wanted to, we want to be there for them along that whole journey. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I am taking out of this, is that it really makes a difference listening to these kids talk, and then to hear the other kids that are nominating, or adults that are nominating these teachers. This is like ramp up, let's go. It should have been on a Monday morning, you know. But you guys are awesome, and the teachers here are awesome, and the kids here understand kids. You are the reason that we do this, and we love it. And I haven't gone to work a day in my life. I love what I do. And Jamila.
So sweet. Jamila, do you have anything else you want to add?
I just want to say thank you again to him. I really appreciate the opportunity of being a student in his classroom. And I also want to say congratulations to him and the other teachers that are receiving the award and that are out there as, you know, being a teacher professional in that business, because I understand that it's hard.
Thank you. Thank you. And congratulations to Mr. Sellers on being one of our 2022 Inspiring Teachers. So congratulations. And if you don't know Chris very well, ask him the next time you see him to see one of his photo IDs and see what he'll show you there. Had to toss that in. All right. Last but definitely not least at all, we have Tiffany Fowlkes-Comninellis. You'll see, she can let me know how badly I'm butchering her name. She is a teacher at Hazelwood Central High School, and she was also a teacher formerly at McClure North in the Ferguson-Florissant School District. And she was nominated by Wesley Agee, who is a doctoral student at WashU in the molecular cell biology program. So let's go ahead and see that video.
Hi, my name is Wesley Agee, and I'm a PhD student in the molecular cell biology program at WashU. I nominated Dr. Tiffany Fowlkes based on my time in undergrad at Harris-Stowe State University. At the time, she was teaching my freshman bio course, and up until that point, I assumed like every doctor wore a lab coat, saw patients, and that was it. Little did I know that like all of my professors that I had at that time were actually doctors. And so with that, you know, she went on to speak about doing research and getting involved in science and what it entails, such as like, you know, doing internships, paid internships, traveling around the country and presenting research. And so, you know, I asked her after class, how do I get involved? Because it sounded interesting at the time. I think I was an education major. And so she connected me with the chair of the department, who connected me with the director of research at the time. And, you know, they got me involved in this program called MISSIP, which essentially, exposes minorities to urban ecology and sustainability practices. And, you know, from there, my interest in science began to blossom. And, you know, as I began to look around the people I was around, I got to thinking like maybe I could do that as well. And so it all kind of started for me though with that one experience in class. And, you know, it just sparked a whole new world. You know, and I think it's funny to think that up until that point in my 18, 19 years, 20 years at that time, that, you know, I had no clue that this, you know, whole side of you know, academics and science, you know, really existed. So, you know, I totally attribute that to Dr. Fowlkes. You know, I can picture the moment of her, you know, kind of explaining science and everybody in class, like talking. And me, like the wheels start churning and I'm like, really? Sounds kind of cool. I think I just had my son at the time, and in my mind, I was like, this would be cool on career day, you know? I go in and I'm like, you know, yeah, I'm a scientist. My son's like, yeah, my dad's a scientist. Like, I just thought that would be cool. So from going from there to just thinking it'd be a cool career and coming to find out, like, I'm actually kind of good at this, it is kind of mind blowing. You know, I think people like Dr. Fowlkes are like super needed. You know, somebody that doesn't have to, you know, do what she does as a white woman. You know, she could, you know, solely take that identity, but she chooses instead to embrace her identity as a first generation student. You know, we sometimes go into conversations about her background and, you know, her upbringing. in southwestern Missouri, and humble beginnings, and kind of where she's taken it now. And I could see the pride, that she took in that and embracing that identity. And it allowed me to embrace that as well. And, as a parent and, a foster parent, she fostered kids and taught my course as an adjunct professor at that. And then, at the same time was a teacher in Ferguson Forest and at Point North. And, I was just kind of, amazed at all these different hats that she wore, and, how she was so genuine, and that you could tell that she really cared, because she didn't have to attribute all this time, to myself, all the other students, her high school students, foster children. And, it just kind of blew my mind to see somebody, that dedicated to promoting like this diverse, environment, and supporting students and historically excluded groups in that way. It's something that still blows my mind, because since the time I've met her, she still hasn't changed. You see educators, who go like their whole career, like 40, 50 years, and they do it, for the kids, and, seldom do they get recognition. I wanted her to know, that like she's making a difference, and that, it didn't have to take 40 to 50 years for her to get that recognition. The results with me, this is in a span of 5 years, and, the difference that she made, instantly in my life, and the impact that she made already. I could only imagine the other impacts that she's made that she may not be aware of yet. Reminds me like of a Tupac line where he was like, I may not change the world, but I may spark the mind that changes the world. And like, I think she was just looking to, grab hold to anybody who was willing to listen.
Thank you so much, Wesley. And Tiffany, want to say a few words?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Wesley, I see you repping the Wash U, first of all. So proud of you. I think someone spoke earlier. It's just our students are inspirational to us. I don't even necessarily want to do this job. I want to see Wesley doing this. I want to see you doing science. I want to see you inspiring people. I'm so proud of you. And as a father, I'm so proud of you that you get to be that role model to your son. Just to see you grow and you getting your doctorate. It's awesome. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of flattered, and I really appreciate the nice words and the award, and that, this happened really fast. I met Wesley when I had just started teaching, and I'm glad it didn't take me 40 years to get some recognition. I guess this year's been really hard for everybody. So props to all the teachers out there and to all the students that are pushing through.
Thank you so much. Wesley, did you want to say anything else here?
Yes, it says my connection may be a little unstable, but I do want to say that I find it ironic that now I'm in the same, 5 years later, I'm in the same program with the same, teachers and the same program coordinators and the same people, basically just walking the same trail that Dr. Fowlkes walked, right? And I think it gives me a little bit of comfortability because they train you to be like a PI and have your own lab, but I would be totally comfortable being a high school teacher and really making an impact in science and STEM. People make it seem like you have to have these lofty goals and expectations, but you can make a difference anywhere. And I think Dr. Fowlkes and the rest of the teachers here are a clear example of that. So thank you all. And, especially Dr. Fowlkes.
Thank you. Thanks, Wes. And congratulations to, and you're going to tell me how to pronounce your last name, Dr. Tiffany Fowlkes.
So you actually had it the last time, and that's why I have my kids call me Doc Foco. So Tiffany Fowlkes-Comninellis, all the letters.
All right. Well, congratulations to one of our 2022 Inspiring Teacher recipients. So congratulations. Okay, so that wraps up our award portion of the evening. And at this point, I want to thank again our sponsors for the events. And these are also organizations that sponsor us even beyond this event: Emerson and the Clark Fox Family Foundation and Blueprint 4 and Missouri S&T. Thank you so much. Thank you again to all the nominators for taking the time to nominate your teachers. Thank you, teachers, for everything you've done and for participating with us tonight. I'd also like to thank my staff, particularly Caitlin Retke and Aaron Tyree, for helping me behind the scenes and doing the magic. Even when I can't figure my stuff out, they make me look good. And also Melinda Linskog, who did all of our social media and photos and videos. So thank you so much for doing that. And she does that all volunteer. So I tell her she's my social media guardian angel. And lastly, what I'd like to do is encourage all of you. We need your help too. We need your support. And you can do that in a number of ways. If you aren't already signed up for our newsletter, do that. That's where we communicate with the community and let them know about opportunities and events. And also, if you are able and feel inclined to make a financial donation, you can do that on our website as well. Your support helps us to provide programs and scholarships so that we can make sure that money and finances isn't a barrier for participation in any of our programs. And also then, if you had heard about this event, if you hopefully saw the video at the beginning, if you're not familiar with our programs, tell a teacher about our programs and encourage them to check us out, because we would love to be able to see more students and community members throughout the St. Louis region. And with that, I'm going to ask everyone to go ahead and turn back on your cameras. We are going to do a screenshot here. So let me go ahead and get my largest view I can get here. Let's get everyone on. And Dan, we need Miss Watkins and Mr. Easterday. Can you get your camera on, and Javahn and Miss Watkins, and then we'll get our video. Do we have James on here too? Where's James? There he is. I see him. And we just need Javahn. He's working on it. And we're going to wait for either Javahn or his, oh, there he is. Okay. All right. You got to fix that hair. All right. I'm going to take a screenshot here. Everyone on the camera, we're missing you, Kayla, and give one smile. All right. Let me do one more. And... all right. Thank you so much, everyone. I think I had a question. We've recorded this live on our YouTube channel. So once that is up and running, I'm not sure how long that will take, but it should be up there soon for you to be able to watch it and share it and replay it and show everyone off in the community what great work that you all are doing. So thank you again to everyone. Have a great evening, and we hope that you will help spread the word about this program and encourage others to nominate someone next year. So thank you.